So we've been in a series on Sunday mornings called More, right? And so we opened that series asking about what would you like to have more of? And one of the first responses we heard was more time, right? So now that you have more sun in the evening, do you feel like you have more time now? Or no? No, not really. It seems to always slip away from us, doesn't it? And somehow. So, well, Psalm 27 tonight. David is going to give us some very practical ways of overcoming fear. And I think we can all agree that within the last year or so, there's been a lot of fear, correct? And a lot of things have, happened and been said and continue to happen and being said that's trying to, not trying, but has created fear. And so we can always be encouraged. And again, this psalm is one that can't be connected with any specific time or event in David's life. But we just know from his life that he encountered a lot of people and a lot of experiences where he struggled with fear. And here's the thing that I guess is encouraging to me. David was a great man of war, right? I mean, he was a guy that he had fought a lion and a bear. And so here's a guy that was familiar with fighting, but shared his struggle with fear, because it's just a reality. And we've learned too that fear can be healthy in some respects, but we can't let it paralyze us to the point that we're not doing anything. So he's in these 14 verses that we have tonight. He's just going to give us. It just breaks down some real practical things to encourage us tonight, how to overcome fear. And Mitch and I were just talking a few minutes ago. The subtitle in our Bibles is an exuberant declaration of faith. And so you may have seen T-shirts, or you may have seen slogans that says, faith over fear, right? Or faith is, you'll see the greater than symbol. Faith is greater than fear. And maybe a lot of people have been saying, don't live in fear, live by faith. And all those are encouraging as well. So let's just listen to what David expresses. He says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and foes, they stumbled and fell. Though an army may encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war may rise against me, in this I will be confident." So here's the first thing David says in overcoming fear. You have to stay confident in the Lord. You have to stay confident in who He is and what He has done, is doing, and is going to do for you. Now, he gives us three things right there off the bat that describe the character of God. First one is light, right? And we know that there's many scriptures throughout the Bible that says God is light. 1 John, he says, God is light, and in Him is what? No darkness at all. And so, and we know, and in John's Gospel also, when he opens up, he says, he describes Jesus as the light. Jesus is described as the light that shone in the darkness, and people have seen a great light. And so because of that light, I was reminded of what Paul said in Ephesians chapter 5. We've been studying Ephesians chapter 5 in my Sunday school class. So listen to what he says there. Verses 8 through 14. "For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness, righteousness, and truth. Findings of darkness, but rather expose them. For it is shameful even to speak of those things with God. For whatever makes manifest is light. Therefore he says, awake you who sleep, arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light. So you all may remember, it's corrected over in the last few years, but you know that downstairs hallway that's right below, and stand there at that hallway, what was it? It was complete. And then you're like, and I'll be honest, office. But why was it not scary coming back down the sister, who's 2 years older than me? And so when you have an older sister and you're in elementary school, not only could she take care of me, but what did she have? Boyfriends. So when we were on the playground together, you know what they did? They looked out for Gary, for the most part, when they could. And I got to thinking about that. They were my what? They were my bodyguards. They were my salvation, right? To save me from